Now we're going to create documents. You create a document by clicking into the Documents tab here, and then adding a document. You can either add by clicking the left-hand navigation, or you can click into the actual Add Documents tab here, and it's going to pop open a screen that looks like this. We're going to choose from the document types. The first example here is the customer agreement, and we get to this screen by clicking here onto the customer agreement tab, and then the specific form that we're looking for is the HS268 water heater agreement. That's this document right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It's going to ask you whether you want to generate a new document or take a picture of a paper copy. Seeing that we're paperless and in install2go, we're going to go ahead and create the document or generate document. And that'll bring up the actual copy here, the electronic copy of the customer agreement. You'll notice that the customer information is pre-populated, and the top section, the service provider information, has Crew 2 Inc. You don't necessarily need to fill in any more detail here. So at this point, in terms of customer information and service provider information, this has everything that you need. Then what we're going to do is move down to the next section below, and here we're going to enter tank details. This will also act as a receipt or an order confirmation for the customer when the project's finished. So if you put the SKU number and the serial number in at this stage, the customer will have an email copy of this when the project's done as well. Continuing to scroll down, you'll see the scope of work section, which is right here. Any additional fees that you're charging on site should be detailed here in the scope of work section. The reason for that is, again, the customer is going to be able to see itemized pricing for what they're paying for. That's one of the most common questions we get is, I was quoted X and the final price ended up being $250 more. Good notes in the scope of work section allow our production managers to answer customer questions about the pricing. So if you would detail the notes here, like the example I get right here is repipe water line, and maybe a better explanation would be even to say converting from 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch due to code requirements, $125. That gives us an idea of how to talk to the customer about that charge. You're also going to put in the total investment, which is going to go right here in this section. Again, this is the final price you're going to charge the customer. This includes the tank, the labor, the permit charge, and everything that you're doing on site. After you've captured all of that information, we're going to get a couple signatures. The first one here is in the electronics record authorization section. The customer is going to initial that section. Then I'm going to move down to the bottom section and get a signature from both the customer and the technician on site. They can do that by using this little pen stylus up in the top section of the page, on the top right, and you can write directly on the document. When you're finished with that, you'll come up here and save either a draft or save as final. If you've captured all the information you want and you don't need to edit this document, you can save it as a final copy and it'll store it in the document section. Here it'll ask you if you want to email a copy to the customer. Best practice is to say yes. Capture a valid email if one doesn't already exist and hit save, and then it's going to show that you've recorded the document and saved it here in the file.